everybody. I miss you. I hope you guys are at home having fun. Probably some of you are doing your work. Well, I wanted to tell you that this week, since we always have read aloud every day, I thought maybe I would video the chapters of our book that we're reading, and you can get onto Class Tag and watch them each day. Today, as you can see, I have Harley here with me. She's going to sit with us while we read the first two chapters of our new book, which is Good Morning Gorillas. So chapter 1 is called Dark and Rainy. Here we go. Tap, tap, tap. Jack sat up in bed. Rain tapped against his window. His clock said 5 a.m. That's usually when I get up. It was still dark outside. Annie peeked into his room. "Are you awake?" she whispered. "Yep," said Jack. "You ready to find some special magic?" she asked. "Well, maybe we should wait," said Jack. "It's so dark and rainy." "No waiting," said Annie. "I'll get an umbrella. You bring a flashlight. Meet you downstairs." Okay, said Jack. He jumped out of bed. He put on his clothes and put on his jacket. Then he grabbed his backpack and flashlight. Jack slipped downstairs and out the front door. Annie stood on the porch in jeans and a t-shirt. The air was chilly and breezy. "Don't you need a sweater or something?" said Jack. "I'm okay," she said. "Let's go." Annie raised the umbrella and Jack turned on the flashlight. They followed a circle of rainy light down their street into the woods. They headed through the Frog Creek woods. The flashlight lit up the trees, the wet leaves and dark branches. Then it shined on a dangling rope ladder. Jack raised the flashlight beam. "There it is," he said. A circle of light lit the magic tree house. "Morgan's not there," said Annie. "I can tell." "Well, maybe she left us a message," said Jack. Jack grabbed the rope ladder and started up. Annie put the umbrella down and followed. When they climbed inside, Jack shined the flashlight around the treehouse. Morgan Le Fay wasn't there, but the scrolls from their trip to Old England were. "Here's proof we found a special magic yesterday," she said. "Yes," said Jack, smiling. "Theater magic." He had great memories of acting in a play by their friend William Shakespeare. "Did Morgan leave us a new secret rhyme?" asked Jack. He shined the flashlight on a book lying under the window. A piece of paper was sticking out of the book. "Yes," said Annie. She picked up the book and pulled out the paper. Jack shined the light on the paper while Annie read aloud. "Dear Annie and Jack, good luck on your second journey to find a special magic. This secret rhyme will guide you. To find a special kind of magic in worlds so far apart, speak a special language, talk with your hands and heart. Thank you, Morgan." "What kind of language does she mean?" Jack asked. "I guess we'll find out," said Annie. "Where are we going?" Jack shined the flashlight on the cover of the book. It showed huge trees, partly hidden by mist. The title was An African Rainforest. "Rainforest," said Jack. "Good thing we brought our umbrella and flashlight. Remember the rain in the Amazon rainforest? Remember how dark it was under the treetops?" "Yeah," said Annie. "Remember the spiders and the scary ants?" "Well," Jack said, "not all rainforests have the same bugs." "Remember the river snakes?" said Annie. "And the crocodiles?" "Well," said Jack, "not all rainforests have big rivers. There are different kinds of rainforests, you know." "Right," said Annie. She pointed to the cover of the book. "I wish we could go there." The wind started to blow. "Remember the jaguar?" said Annie, and the vampire bats?" "Wait," said Jack. But it was too late. The wind was blowing harder. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. And then everything was still. Absolutely still. Chapter 2, Cloud Forest. Jack opened his eyes. "I can't tell what kind of rainforest this is," said Annie. She stared out the window. Jack looked out too. It seemed to be daytime, but he couldn't see much of anything. The quiet forest was covered with fog. Jack opened their research book and read. The misty rainforest in the mountains of Central Africa is called a cloud forest. "Oh, I get it," said Annie. "We're up so high, it's like we're in a cloud." "Cool," said Jack. He pulled out his notebook and wrote, "Cloud forest, rainforest high up in the mountains." Then he read some more. The African cloud forest is home to many animals, including elephants, water buffaloes, black leopards. Jack looked up. Black leopards? He said. So here's a picture of them looking down from the treehouse. Don't worry, said Annie. Jack cleared his throat and kept reading. Antelopes, wild hogs, and gorillas. Gorillas? Said Annie. Don't worry, said Jack. I'm not worried. I love gorillas, said Annie. They're totally great. I don't know about that, said Jack. He pictured huge apes pounding on their chests. I'd like to study them, though. Write down their habits and behaviors, just like a real scientist. Whatever, said Annie. Let's just go. This is going to be a fun adventure. She took off down the ladder. Jack threw his notebook, the research book, and the flashlight into his pack. He hooked the umbrella over his arm, and then he followed Annie. When they stepped onto the ground, Jack could see better. The fog had turned into a fine mist. Jack and Annie started through the cloud forest. They walked around huge trees draped with moss. They pushed past tall shrubs and leafy plants. Wow, look at that tree, said Annie. She pointed to a fat tree. It had wide lower limbs padded with thick cushions of moss. It looks like a piece of furniture, said Annie. Like an armchair. Yeah, said Jack. I better draw it. He put the umbrella on the ground. He pulled the flashlight out of his pack and put it next to the umbrella. Then he took out his notebook and pencil. As Annie walked ahead, Jack started to draw a simple picture of the fat tree. Hey, Jack, Annie called. Come here, quick. Jack grabbed his pack. He moved around the tree and caught up with Annie. Listen, she said. Jack heard branches snap, crack, crack. A leopard? He wondered. Crack, crack. Jack nervously looked around the forest. Maybe we should go back to the treehouse, he said. We could read a little more and learn a little more. Annie didn't answer. Jack turned to her. She was grinning from ear to ear as she stared into the bushes. Jack followed her gaze. A dark, shaggy little head was peeking out from a cluster of leaves. Boo, boo, a small gorilla asked. So that was chapters 1 and 2. Tomorrow we'll find out, what is this gorilla going to do with Jack and Annie? See you tomorrow.